Lovely to be with you and to be able to share God's word with you again today. I hope you've been enjoying our daily messages from the Psalms. I know they've been a real blessing to me. I hope they have also been to you. And as we enter Holy Week and approach Easter Sunday, that great celebration of our faith where we remember our Lord Jesus Christ rising from the dead, conquering sin and death and bringing us life and freedom, we're now going to turn our attention to Jesus' last week on earth, looking at the Gospel of John in particular and the road that Jesus took on the way to the cross where he suffered and died for us. And our first reading comes from John chapter 12, verse 1 to 12. Just before we look at that passage, I want to ask you this question. If you could imagine the best thing that God could do for you right now, I wonder what it would be. Well, I imagine for all of us, it would be that the Lord holds back and heals our land of this terrible coronavirus, and that we're set free, able to get out into normal life, out of lockdown. What a wonderful celebration that would be. I'm imagining kind of scenes of joy for all of us. And that's something similar to that had just happened to the family that features mainly in this story. So it's a really good friends of Jesus, Martha and Mary and Lazarus, who lived in the village of Bethany. And not long before the story that we're looking at, Jesus had raised Lazarus from the dead. Actually, there's an interesting part of that story where Jesus first finds out that Lazarus is ill. And he waits 3 days before he comes to bring resurrection. He waits until Lazarus dies, until he brings resurrection. I think that's a good message for all of us now, actually. Sometimes God waits. Sometimes Jesus waits to act because he has something even more glorious that he wants to do later. But that family had just experienced that. Their brother dead and then raised to life. I wonder how you would respond to Jesus. The three different responses that we see from the three different members of that family. Martha decides that she wants to throw a feast in Jesus' honor. I don't know if that's the sort of person that you are, that you want to celebrate and throw a feast for somebody. Martha does that. Lazarus, he's just delighted, I'm sure, to be alive. He's enjoying the moment. He spends time with Jesus. He reclines next to him at the meal and just wants to be in Jesus' presence. Is that your response to Jesus? But we have Mary, who does this amazing thing. She takes the most precious thing she has, a jar of very expensive perfume worth the whole year's wages. And she breaks the jar and she pours it on Jesus' feet and washes his feet with her hair. An extravagant demonstration of her love and thanksgiving to Jesus. I wonder is that your response to Jesus for what he has done for you? Do you want to extravagantly express your love to him? In the next part of the story, Judas, the one who betrays Jesus, he's only interested in himself. He doesn't see why you should express love to Jesus. He just wants to get hold of the money, and he wonders, why have you wasted all that money on the perfume? I really hope that that's not the kind of reaction that we have towards Jesus. And then towards the end of the story, we see the Jews, Jewish leaders who are really upset that people are excited about this Jesus who Lazarus keeps telling them about. They want to start killing Jesus and Lazarus as well now. I don't want that to be my reaction. Let's respond to Jesus in this season with extravagant love like Mary. Amen.